You are live.
Hello, everybody. It's so good to see you. It is 2021. Happy New Year, 2021. I don't know. Just to give you a little bit of a heads up, about half an hour ago, I started developing a headache over the entire top part of my head. So I'm not sure how long I'm going to be able to stream for or how cheerful I'm going to be able to be, but I'll give it a go because we all need cheering up, right? So I am going to talk a little bit about what I did in 2020. This is going to be like one of those YouTuber start of the year videos where they talk about what they did and they talk about what they're hoping to do, and we'll talk about how we're all going to set goals like eat chocolate once a week, etc. And you guys can tell me in the stream what goals you might be thinking about this year, or ask me any questions. Please ask me questions because I'm very tired and it helps me to keep the stream going. So yeah, that's what's happening. I kind of get these headaches about a week and a half every month. I just get a week and a half of evening headaches. And unfortunately, this month, the live stream has coincided with the headaches. It's not ideal. And I'm just going to have to let Coco in because she's outside. And I'm still here. You can still hear me. Come on, Trouble. Sorry about that. I made the mistake of letting Coco outside into the garden before I started streaming and forgot to let her back in again. Right, so here we go. 2020. I think we'll all agree it was an unusual year. It was a challenging year. I started out 2020 with about 6,000 YouTube subscribers. I'd never done a live stream. I was just putting out videos every week and hoping that people were watching them. And I'd been doing that for about 3.5 years. And then we started to hear about this virus that was happening in China. And then it started to become a real thing that was happening here. And then March, bam, we were all put down into lockdown. And at that point, I thought this would be a really great time to get on the internet and talk to the people that have been subscribing to my channel and get to know them and give them some entertainment, because I think we were all thinking at that time, what can I do to help people? And my thought was, I'll sit in front of a camera once a week and chat to everybody and do fun stuff and try and keep everyone's spirits high, because that's what I would like to do. So that's what I did. And this turned out to be a really good thing to do in terms of the growth of my channel and of Purple Ella in general, and lots of other stuff that was fun stuff happened for me last year. So I'm just going to go through some of the stuff that happened last year. So I uploaded in 2020 1,552 minutes of content, which sounds like a lot considering a large chunk of that was scripted and edited. And I got 7,134 new subscribers, which meant that I ended the year with 13,000 subscribers. And at the start of 2020, I had gone, oh, it'd be really great if I could hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'll make that my goal. So to go 3,000 over what I'd hoped for was really fantastic. So thank you, everyone, for supporting that. That's really great. And it made me very happy. People watched, can you tell I got an email from YouTube that told me all this stuff just before Christmas, and I thought, oh, I can share this. But this is mental. People watched 44,660 hours of my videos in 2020. I can't even comprehend how 44,660 hours of watch time happened in 1 year on my channel, considering my average video is about 10 minutes long. That's a lot of videos. So were you all just like up all night streaming my videos whilst you slept? Have I got a comforting voice to keep you going through that? I don't know. I don't even know how that occurred, but it sounds like a lot. It's very exciting. And finally, I also received 23,551 likes. So why do I still have low self-esteem? Answer me that. Yeah, so that's great. That's really great. Really, really great to feel so supported and to feel that my content is being watched and appreciated and hopefully helping, because that's the whole point, because why else would I be doing this? I mean, I know people do YouTube, but I know people do YouTube, just say it again and then I'm going to laugh again. I know people do YouTube because they want to make money or be successful or be famous, or I don't know, why else does anyone do YouTube? But I do YouTube entirely predominantly so that I can prevent other people dealing with some of the things that I have dealt with in my life, being so late diagnosed with autism and having a physical illness. And if I can't prevent them from experiencing it, at least I can hold their hands and go, yeah, it happened to me too. So yeah, so this is kind of proof that that's what's happening, and that's brilliant. Additionally, have we got anyone wanting to say anything, or should I keep going with my Ella Fest? I can't see from here. What does it say? Oh, what does it say? I can't.
Miro.
Oh, thanks, Miro. Yay. Super chat. I need my, Super Kid. Can you get my iPad and put it on the live stream that I'm doing and put it next to me so that I can see things like super chats? I'm not organised today because I have a headache. Did I mention that? Did I get some sympathy for that? Okay, I did. Okay, excellent. Good. Yeah, additionally, I started my YouTube club, The Purple People, which was entirely unexpected because I thought you had to have at least a gazillion subscribers before YouTube gave you membership clubs. So when I got the email saying, oh, you can have a membership club. Brilliant, thank you. That was very exciting, but also kind of terrifying, and I wasn't going to do it. And Mr. Purple said, well, try it. You might like it. As they say about one of my favourite drinks. Oh, yes, thank you, Miro. Anyway, he said, give it till October. If it doesn't work, you haven't lost anything. You'll have had some fun making some extra videos. So I started my YouTube club, The Purple People, and that has gone really well. And the Purple People have been a real support for me, and it's also meant that I can entirely focus all of my working energy on the YouTube channel rather than the many other things that I was doing that weren't necessarily good for my health, but were making it possible for me to make the videos by making me money. Did any of that make sense? Anyway, so while I'm talking about the Purple People, if you would like to support the work that I do here, essentially it's a little bit of a Patreon type setup where you pay a small monthly subscription fee, about the price of a meal deal from a place that sells sandwiches, crisps and drinks every month, and I can make videos. But I don't just take your money and go, yay, now I can go make videos. No, I do not do that. I make a video every month for the Purple People, send you out a sticker, and we now have a private Discord server, which I'm hoping to grow as much as possible over the next year into a safe, inclusive, welcoming community for anybody that wants to be part of that. So those are the things that happen if you join the Purple People. I have done that section of the video. Okay, what else did I do? Is there another super chat? I should pay attention to that.
There is, yes.
Maybe I'll.
Henry VIII.
I need a chair so that I can lean the. I should have gotten organised, more organised. Super Kid, can you bring me a chair to here? Thank you, Henry.
Henry VIII fake.
The 8th fake. I'm not very good at, what are they called, those
Roman numerals.
Roman numerals. I can't read those. No. Thank you very much for your super chat. Oh, thank you very much for your super chat. That's really kind, and will go in the Making Videos Fund. Okay, so, where was I? Yeah. Also, in something that I just never thought I'd be doing, I started doing merch, which I never wanted to do merch, particularly because A, I didn't have that many subscribers. That seemed like something that proper YouTubers did. And B, I didn't want to sell overpriced tat, not judging anyone else for what they're doing, but I wanted to sell good things. So now I sell Purple Ella and Cocoa stickers, which I designed myself and had printed by someone that I know. So that's brilliant. And sweatshirts, like this sweatshirt that I am wearing now, t-shirts and hoodies. This is the hoodie from a company called Born Anxious, who are lovely and ethical and wonderful to work with. So I started selling merch. If you would like to find out more about my merch, there's some merch links in places. That's not very professional, is it? But there are. Anyway, what else? Oh, I also started a little bit to get into Instagram, because that seems like another way to reach people who might be autistic or disabled and be looking for some stuff to support them. So I started doing that. I made some Instagram videos, and I went over 1,000 subscribers on my Instagram account, which is by no means a huge amount of subscribers, but it's not about numbers here in the Purple community. It's about quality, and we have some quality followers who are just lovely. So I did that. So that was good. And if you are interested in following me on Instagram, I should know my name on Instagram. Purple Ella and Coco. That's me on Instagram. Where was I? Oh, in addition to working, because everything that happened in 2020 was not work, I got diagnosed with ADHD. So that was kind of a big deal. I'd been suspecting I'd perhaps had ADHD for about a year and a half before I went for the private diagnosis in the end. But during lockdown, I think we realized that I could really benefit from this knowledge, and I went and had an assessment and was diagnosed with ADHD. And finally, I worked hard to stay sane during a global pandemic, which led to the whole Purple family being at home nearly all of the time, when I was used to having my weekdays, firstly pretty much to myself, then with Wonder Girl at home when she stopped going to school, and then a year later, suddenly everyone's at home all the time. So I worked on what that means in terms of me needing to be a little bit more tolerant and flexible in my life, and I feel like I've done a really good job of that. So feeling proud. Okay, has anyone got anything they'd like to say before I move on to next year, this year, the year we're in now?
Luke has a question that says, what is it like when someone sees you stim?
What is it like when someone sees you stim? That's an interesting question, because I think that when people think about stimming, they automatically think about the really sort of stereotypical stims that you imagine an autistic person doing, which obviously some people do. But I think that those of us who've been diagnosed later in life, a lot of us have mostly substituted those bigger stims that we did when we were younger and were told, don't do that, you're embarrassing me, or sit on your hands, or whatever we were told to stop us from doing them, with more stims that are more like socially typical, I guess. And going into that, essentially what I'm leading to is that everybody stims. This is not an exclusively autistic thing. Anyone that chews the end of their pen or twirls with their hair or anything, or taps their knee or anything like that, is essentially stimming. And so I think that everybody is seeing everybody stim, and therefore I don't know what it would be like to do a more typically autistic stim in front of people, because I've never really done that. Yes.
He said it was actually from a 14-year-old child asking the question, and I was thinking we've got...
Oh yeah, well I do have, as it happens, a nearly 14-year-old child who stims in, I would say, more of a typically autistic way. Would you agree? And she does not care what people think, which is a really handy personality trait. I mean, I'm not saying she doesn't care at all what people think, but she is really proud to be herself and her glorious awesomeness without concern for people judging her too much, and that's great. So I don't think she really has any thoughts on what people might be thinking, and I can't ask her to tell you because she is very, very busy playing on her Nintendo 3DS right now.
Ross is in the room.
Hey. Hey Ross. You said she's in the room, and I looked like Ross might be in my living room, which would have been such a great surprise. And why aren't you?
Beth would like to send you a sticker, but she needs a hubby to sort her phone out. Is it possible to do it afterwards?
I'm not sure, but you can consider me having appreciated your thought that counts sticker, if that makes sense. So thank you anyway. And I think there's another one. Oh, hey, thank you. It's from TW, and it says, you are amazing. Oh, I'm having a bit of a, now I've reached that point, you know, you guys will probably be able to relate to this, where I've said lots of good things about myself, and then you guys have said good things about me, and then it feels really uncomfortable all of a sudden, because you're accepting compliments and you're like, oh, I don't know, maybe it's too much. Yes, so I think thank you TW, much appreciated. So I think what I was saying about stimming is essentially I have never been brave enough to, or it's not even brave enough, it's like I lost the instinct to do those stims that I definitely did when I was younger, and I remember doing them because I had them like bashed out of me over my life, and so now I don't do them, so I don't experience what people might react
You used to do one just before you went to sleep.
I used to do one just before I went to sleep. Oh yeah, yeah. Mr. Purple's just reminded me that before I went to sleep, when we were probably for the first 10 years of us being together, probably prior to having kids and me going, right, there's a baby in the room, I don't want to move. I used to essentially be itchy over my entire body, but I wasn't before going to sleep, which was probably really, really pleasant for you, I would say. Yeah. So maybe I do some of those stims and I'm just not noticing.
You didn't notice until the day that I reached for one of the itches before you got there.
Yeah, because there was a pattern to it, wasn't there? Yeah, so maybe I'm just not noticing. Anyway, I've probably talked about this for far too long now. I'm even bored of my own description. So, yeah, 2021. I enjoyed the optimism from the world that suddenly at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve 2020, everything was going to be fixed and the pandemic was going to be gone. I really enjoyed everyone saying, really looking forward to next year. This one's been a bad one. And that when I woke up on New Year's Day, everything would be fine. But unfortunately, being a little bit of a cynical person, I was just like, why is everyone so pleased that 2020 is ending? It's not going to be fixed on January the 1st. So obviously we go into this new year still living in these crazy, crazy times of COVID-19, which is now sounding antique, isn't it? So here in Bristol, we were put into tier 2 like a week before Christmas, put back into tier 3 on Boxing Day. So we did a week in tier 2 because we've been in tier 3 since the second lockdown 2.0. I don't know. All the sequels from lockdown 1 have been a bit rubbish, haven't they? So, and then was it Wednesday, Monday? What day are we on? Who am I? Where am I? Monday, we got put in lockdown again, right? I think it was Monday. But starts today here in the UK. I don't know what the situation is in. Oh, thank you, Susanna. I've seen Susanna before. She's a regular, isn't she? Hurrah! Thank you for being you. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you very much. And welcome to the purple people. Sorry, I want to get this right. Sorry, H. Sorry. Welcome to the purple people. I like to do a song when people join. That was quite good, wasn't it? It sounded a little bit Sesame Street though, didn't it? A little bit Sesame Street. So if you too would like a Sesame Street song, you know what to do. Where was I? Yeah, so we start, so my point was, we start 2021 in a really unusual situation, I think, because usually we start a new year thinking it's a new year, it's a new start. I'm suddenly going to be someone who jogs and only eats lettuce and drinks exclusively water and gets 9 hours sleep a night and doesn't get stressed anymore. And we make resolutions and we think, yeah, all of these things is going to happen. It's going to be great. And I think maybe this year is going to be good in that we're all starting a bit more realistically. We're all like, oh, hey, things aren't great, so I'm definitely going to carry on drinking wine, or oh, doesn't seem like a good time to give up chocolate, etc. And I am fully in support of that. Definitely fully in support of realistic goal setting. But at the same time, I do like setting goals. And it's something that I started doing a couple of years ago, because if I set goals, I'm kind of like, now I'm just going to get a little bit hippie for a minute or two, so bear with me. If I set goals, I'm kind of manifesting to the universe or God or whatever your spiritual leanings are or not, I am manifesting that I would like these things to happen this year. But at the same time, I am acknowledging that perhaps that isn't what is going to be right for me that year. So I'm kind of, when I'm talking about goal setting, I'm talking about putting something out there and going, I would like this to happen, and seeing what happens, essentially, because I don't want goals to feel like, oh, I've got this goal, and if I don't achieve this goal, then that means I've failed, because that's not good for anyone's self-esteem, is it? No, it's not. So let's not do that. So I go into 2021. What year are we in? Who am I? Where am I? 2021. I go into 2021 with the following goals, with absolutely no pressure for them to happen, just an aspiration that it might be nice if they do. And considering my goals for 2020 worked out well, I'm optimistic. So my goals for 2021 are to drink 2 bottles of water a day. I've got the kind of medium-sized chili bottle, and I've noticed that I've been drinking a lot of diet soft drinks, Diet Coke, and squash. And whilst none of these things are terrible things to drink, and I don't drink alcohol at all, so, you know, that feels like something good. It's still not water, and I think water is probably the thing that's best for you. My completely unscientific opinion is that water seems better, probably. So I don't want to say I'm going to drink less diet soft drinks, because that's like I'm going to take something away. So instead, I thought I'm going to drink 2 bottles of water a day, which inevitably will lead to me drinking less diet soft drinks, because even though I do drink near constantly, there's only so much drinking a person can do in a day. So far, so good. I have drunk 2 of my medium chili bottles of water a day. What date are we on? For 6 days now. So go me. I would also, and I'm just going to get serious for a minute. Feel like I need some serious music for these moments. I'm not going to provide it because I'm not inspired right now. I am going to only weigh myself on a Friday. I'm putting that out there because I, as many of my regular viewers know, have struggled with an eating disorder for about 20 years now. And what's left of it is a need to control what weight I'm at and to judge myself every morning based on the number on the scale. And that is not healthy. And I know it's not healthy, but not doing it has felt unachievable for a while for a variety of reasons. But I thought that this year could be the year that I try to stop weighing myself every day and instead only weigh myself on a Friday. And, you know, in dreams of the future, I would only weigh myself when the doctor that I visit tells me to weigh myself, and I would never weigh myself at any other time. That's not realistic. Cutting it down to once a week is. But I've already failed. So it's not going that well so far, but that's okay, because I have weighed myself less often than normal, and good enough is good enough. And I'm going to keep working on that one. So that's another goal I have set. Some professional goals. I don't know whether this is at all realistic, but I'm gonna have them as goals. I would like to hit, by the end of 2021, 20,000 YouTube subscribers. So I'm at 13.5 now, I think. I think that's where I was at when I last looked this morning, or an hour ago. I'm at 13.5 and 20 by the end of the year. Does that seem realistic? What do you guys think? Is it doable? Fingers crossed. And I would also like to hit 3,000 Instagram followers for no reason really, other than that then I can direct them over here to watch videos about how being autistic is cool and they might feel better. So that would be good. I think Mr. Purple just wants to interrupt me with something.
Merlin wants to ask, what's it like having an assistance dog?
What's it like having an assistance dog? Oh, it's so brilliant. It's the best. Having a dog, first of all, is putting to one side the best things that have ever happened to me. Obviously, marrying Mr. Purple and having the Purple children, the single best thing that's ever happened to me. It's amazing. And having her working as an assistance dog so that she can support me everywhere that I go is just the best thing ever. And it's given me a level of independence that I hadn't got. So, for example, next week I've got a hospital appointment on a week on Monday that I'm quite nervous about. So if everyone could send me good vibes for that one, that'd be great, because I've got to go and have an investigatory thing that isn't going to be pleasant, and I'm not looking forward to it. And I'm also quite medical stuff phobic, so it's just not a good thing for me. And it's not really practical for Mr. Purple to come with me because all the kids are at home, we're in lockdown, and our youngest still needs someone to be at home looking after her. So normally this would have caused me to completely freak out, but I've just gone, do you know what, I'm going to have Coco with me, so together we're going to get through it. And it's given me that kind of independence, and I'm not really worrying about it as much as I would. So yeah, it's brilliant. It's just brilliant in every way. That said, having a dog is a huge responsibility that needs careful consideration. Don't want to be irresponsible about dog ownership. It's not easy, but I love it. Shall I continue? Right. So yes, 20,000 YouTube subscribers and 3,000 Insta followers, universe, please. And then essentially, I would like in 2021, now that I'm kind of before, but I think the other thing that happened is that when I started 2020, I wasn't clear on which direction I wanted to take things career-wise. So I could have gone into consultancy where I was like talking to businesses to try and make and public places to try and make them more autism friendly, or I could have tried to do loads more public speaking. Good job I didn't pick that one, huh? Or I could have tried to get into sort of training teachers in schools. There were like lots of different, and then I was doing the YouTube, and there were lots of different ways in which I was working. And the thing that I really, really love doing and is practical for me to do is to work from home making videos to put out for people to use in the way that you use them, but also I know that councils and schools and other people like that use them as part of their staff training, and it works for me because if I try and do stuff that involves me being out of the house, then I'm just unwell all the time. It makes me really unwell to go out and do stuff. And working from home in a way that means I can structure my day with rests means that I can be well is a stretch. I can be as well as possible while still having a job, which is just really, really important to me. So my aims are to keep focused on what those aims are, which is to be working doing this stuff in order to encourage us, essentially, to encourage you guys and everybody that we're enough just as we are, and whatever state we're in. There is no qualification for being a acceptable human. So if you're sat on your sofa crying or having a meltdown and watching the Gilmore Girls whilst consuming your own weight in Maltesers, you are doing everything you need to do to be enough. To prevent suffering by, I can see that, but I'm midway through talking about something. So, oh, okay. I'm never. When I see that, I feel pressured that I've got to like stop what I'm talking about.
Want me to tell you?
When I've got time to take something, I'll come to you.
Right, it's just because the.
Sorry, I've got this situation where Mr. Purple's brilliantly helping me out, but he's got his hand up like this, and like because I'm autistic, I'm like, and I can't multitask.
I've got it up like this, gently.
Yeah.
Just to let you know.
It's still not working for me. That's really not working. He's doing this now. I just don't think he's really taking my needs seriously. What do you think? No, he's great. He's so great. Okay, so where was I? Yeah. The other aim is to prevent suffering by educating everyone about the conditions that I have, because I can't educate people about conditions I don't have, in the hope that this will help to increase understanding, acceptance, and accommodation. Sorry about that wobble. Gogo just ran past the light and the camera and gave it a wobble. Understanding, acceptance, and accommodation of these conditions. And I want to do that in a way that's sustainable, which means generating an income from it so that I can do it. And to not let anyone make me feel bad about doing what I do, wanting to do what I do, and wanting to make that sustainable. Ta-da! Those are my goals for 2021. And now I will be able to listen to you. No, he doesn't want to talk to me.
Disney Andy says, have we watched Soul yet?
Yes. Yes, Andy, we have. I'm really glad I got so stressed about that. I just don't like I wouldn't want anyone to feel ignored, you know, because this is like a community. You still got to stop doing that.
Another one.
Wait, we have watched Soul. We thought it was brilliant. We loved it. We watched it on Christmas Day. Super Kid concurs that it was, in fact, very enjoyable. Okay.
Juan asks, how did you decide to create your channel?
How did I decide to create my channel? Well, some people already know this story, but I'll tell it in a brief way because everyone knows I'm really good at saying things without going a million times round and roundabout before getting to the point, which I've already done. I'd got 3 children at home. Wonder Girl was like 3 months old, and I thought, I'm going to blog. That'll be something I can do to keep myself not entirely submersed in nappies and that life, and to still have something else. So I did a parenting blog, which I was never very convincing at, because you're supposed to take these beautiful pictures of your beautiful life and you advertise toys and holidays. I did get a couple of holidays though, which was quite nice. And I was always a little bit of a Poundland blogger, if you know what I mean. It wasn't for me really, but I enjoyed having the community on the internet and writing and being creative, because prior to that I had been creative in creative industries of one kind or another pretty much all my life. And then I got the autism diagnosis, and I had already made a YouTube channel, because when you went to parenting blog conferences, they said, oh, you must do YouTube. And I would go, no, that's way too scary. That looks really technical and complicated, and I can't possibly do that. But I'll make a channel, and then it's there, and I've got my name on it, which I then ended up changing anyway. So I thought I'll put something on YouTube about this diagnosis. I'll talk about the process, and you can go back and find that very first video where I'm basically sat on my living room floor with an iPad stacked on some books, recording myself. And people watched it and related to it, and it felt like something much more valuable than advertising Harvest a restaurant, or at one point a soda stream. So I thought, this is what I want to do. And although it meant giving up like every freebie, that like it was like definitely the less desirable, like do this and get free holidays, or do this, and it wasn't really a thing at the time. There wasn't really people doing what we neurodivergent disability YouTubers do now. So yeah, I did it really quite early on. And if I'd known anything about SEO at the time, I probably could have built a massive following, but I had no idea what I was doing, so I didn't. Yeah, so that's how I started. And it's been a lot of fun. And in a way, I've actually realized this year that I'm really glad that it took as long as it did for things to start to take off in terms of the subscriber count, because I genuinely, sorry, I just got a message that just completely threw me. I genuinely don't think I could have coped with the kind of attention that I'm getting now. And like, I know I'm still very small fry, but for me, I get lots of messages, and, you know, I don't think I could have coped with that level of attention even a year and a half ago, because it takes some like strength in some ways to keep personal boundaries in place when people are asking you for help from like every corner, like email, messaging on Instagram, just like, this is our story, what can we do, this is our, and you know, like being able to cope with that, and the sort of people telling you are great, because as I've said, that's a little bit like I don't feel like I'm any different from anyone else, so you know, people saying that would have been harder to cope with. So I'm actually quite glad that it's been a snail rather than a hare of a journey for me so far. So how is my headache? Thank you. It's not actually, I did take some cocodamol, and it seems to be kicking in a little bit. It's not got rid of it completely, but I'm feeling a little bit better. Thank you for asking. So let's talk now about goal setting in terms of you guys and how you're feeling. So if you'd like to ask me questions or let me know what your goals are for this year, I'm sure Mr. Purple will put some of those up on the screen for us. Yeah.
Beth would like to know how you keep your anxiety down.
How do I keep my anxiety down? I think that for me, and I've said this probably quite a lot of times, so I hope it's not boring, but the key to keeping my anxiety down is actually long-term maintenance of the way that I live my life. So it's, thank you, Coco. Coco. So it's actually, it's using my weighted blanket. It's eating properly, drinking properly, getting enough sleep, not having too much social time, being really strict with myself about how much capacity I've got each day. Come here, sausage. I'm sure everyone would like to see you. Hello, it's Coco. Matt, spending lots of time with Coco. I know that my anxiety is at its worst when I am at my busiest, and that's one of the reasons that I recognise that working from home is better for me, because when I become physically unwell, my anxiety gets worse. When I become stressed, my anxiety gets worse. When I've not had enough sleep, my anxiety gets worse. And then finally, the other thing that I've done to overcome my anxiety is learn to tell myself that I'm okay. So basically, if I start to feel anxious, I will literally inside my head go, you're okay, everything's fine, don't worry, you're fine, you're fine. And I started doing this about 6 months ago, and it really does make a difference. It's like you can actually convince your brain to calm down by telling it to. So I'm literally going, brain, calm down. I've had enough of this. Stop. So yeah, that's how I keep my anxiety at bay. I want to talk a little bit about gentle goal setting for you guys and some thoughts that I have about that. But I also have a funny thing to show you. So what would you like me to do first? Would you like me to show you the funny thing, or would you like me to talk about gentle goal setting first? In which order would you like me to do things? What would you like me to do first? Go. And also, finally, to add, sorry, Beth, and that because I know you a little more than perhaps because you're a purple person, so I have a bit more of an insight into your life. I honestly think that you work really, really hard to cope with the things that you cope with. So I think you're doing a really good job. So keep going. Goal setting, funny thing. Gentle goals, funny thing. Oh, it's a 50-50. It's a real 50-50. The next person to comment, I'll do what they say. The tension builds. The tension still, but nobody's going to comment, are they? So I'm just going to have to decide. You sure you don't want to help me decide? Funny thing. Oh, I think that's Mr. Purple. Okay, I'll do the funny thing. So some of you might remember from my Hygie, anyone was here for my Hygge, I just said it wrong again, oh Lord, for my Hygge live stream, I talked about really wanting an Oodie, and somebody must have been listening because I got an Oodie for Christmas. I thought you might like to see me wearing it because it is funny. So, oh, little tease. Oh, it's very hot. I'm very hot now. Oh, I've got it on back to front. It's all going wrong. I mean, if I'd been thinking properly, I could have gone for a moustache as well, couldn't I? Here it is. And my hair looks really fantastic now. Here is my Oodie. Ta-da! I think you'll all agree that anybody that sees this video is going to know. I know that I'm going to get a lot of comments on this video now asking me to do provocative things in this Oodie, because I can see, even looking at myself, that it's an incredibly, I'm getting there, that it's an incredibly sexy piece of clothing, and I'm feeling very much like people might want me to dance, etc. So if you're watching this video and you think you're going to comment that you know, you want me, just don't go there, because this Oodie is amazing. And the other great thing about this Oodie, as Mr. Purple just pointed out, is you could definitely and absolutely fit some boob hands under here. So it's a sweatshirt that you could wear even if you'd got boob hands. So what do you think? Do you like my corgi Oodie? I'm gonna have to take it off though because it's very hot and I've got a light on me. So essentially what I've done there is messed up my hair for your entertainment. You're welcome. So I feel like that was maybe a little bit underwhelming. Sorry about that, guys. So gentle goal setting. One of the things that got said to me, I'm good at sentences, aren't I, today? One of the things that was said to me on Twitter when I talked about gentle goal setting, because I put out a bit of a Purple Ella cartoon about goal setting on the 1st of January, was the idea of the year of the. So if goal setting, like in terms of specifying specific goals, feels like it's still going to be too much pressure or too much demand, you could think of your year as being the year of the healthiness, or the year of the watching the entirety of Schitt's Creek, or the year of the food experimentation, or the year of the boundary setting, or you know, you just pick a target area and decide, like you're a town, you know, you get towns that have like the year of culture. Like you're a town, declare your year the year of the long hair, or the year of the specially painted fingernails, you know, beauty or whatever. I think I've made my point. Whatever it is, you could just nominate this year to that and see where that takes you without any specific goals in mind, which I think could be quite a good way of doing things. It might help if you don't call them goals. It might help if you call them dreams. So, because dreams don't always happen. So does anyone have any questions about anything they're specifically wanting to do with their goal setting that they would like to talk to me about? Oh, gosh.
It says the year of the blanket. The
year of the blankets, exactly. The year of the hygge would, I think, be a splendid idea. I did also get some Norwegian socks for Christmas from a friend who had mentioned the hygge thing, or she might have even watched the live stream, and they are proper Norwegian socks, you know, they're like the pattern and everything, but they're also purple, and I am quite besotted with them, so much so to the point that I went and found out where you get them from and ordered some more. So it will be the year of the socks for me, but every year is the year of the socks, because new socks or nice socks are just the best thing ever. There are two things in life that make me very happy, and then there are many things, but this just suits what I'm going to say now, and that is stationery and socks. I mean, also, you know, Lego and art stuff, and but for this purposes of, and bubble tea, lots of things. Okay, so there's way more than two things that make me happy, but who doesn't love socks and stationery? The two S's. So it should be like that, shouldn't it? Get your 5 a day, drink enough water, get plenty of sleep, and make sure you get the two S's every week. That's my advice, and that's my advice, and you can take that and you can use it. Whew. So yeah, so we are in, some of us in lockdown, some of us not, I would imagine, because I know that not everybody who watches this is in the UK, which is brilliant because I'm like global. But it's, so in fact, maybe some of the goal setting, to be gentle with yourself, maybe some of the goal setting should be stuff that will make us happy, as well as stuff that challenges us. So stuff like, what did I decide? There was something that I decided that, like, I'm going to have bubble tea at least once a week because it makes me happy. Or you could, oh, the other thing that I decided was I got, so I'm quite hard to buy gifts for, I think, if you don't know me, like everyone. I like specific things, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm not like, I'm quite picky. I like Lego. I like dogs. You know, I know what I like, and I don't really want much outside of that. So some of the people that I'm related to who know this about me now and have tried to buy me things over the years and not really bought stuff that I was that into, I've realized that I really like bath bombs. I just really like them. I think they're stimmy, autistic joy. You stick them in the bath and then they do a fizzy, exciting, fun, joyous thing, and they smell nice and they're a sensory experience, and I just love them. So they bought me some last Christmas, and they bought me some for my, like, quite a lot for my birthday in August, and they bought me some this Christmas. So now I've got like a stash of bath bombs, which is brilliant. So I decided that one of my goals this year would actually be to have a bath with a bath bomb once a week, every week, because I always feel good after I've done this. So some of your goals could be things that you're going to add to make you feel comforted and comfortable, particularly with everything that's going on, as opposed to goals like, I'm never going to eat chocolate again, which is like stupid. It's a stupid goal. Don't do that. So what kind of goals could you set that might bring comfort? It might be something like, I'm going to go on Etsy and spend £3 once a month. You know, like, because I love Etsy, because Etsy has just lots of from all over the world who make things like vinyl stickers and mugs and pin badges and just cute, lovely stuff, especially if you put kawaii in the search bar and see what comes up. And I know that there's been points where I've been really struggling, and it doesn't have to be like a really expensive thing, because, you know, we've all got financial commitments that mean we can't be gifting ourselves all the time. But you can go on Etsy and spend literally £2 or £3 and get something really cute that is then going to be delivered through your door a week later, or however long the postal takes, depending where in the world you order from. And that can be a real, I love getting nice posts. That can be a real brightener. So send yourself a gift. So what have we covered so far? Have a bath every week, send yourself a gift. Get a blanket that you really love. I mean, as Liz said, it could be the year of the blanket, and there is nothing better than a nice blanket. And that has been the end result of my Nook experiment. So people that were here for the Hygge live stream might remember that I tried to create like a little cozy nook in the corner for reading. Like, it was up in my bedroom and it was by the window, and the idea would be that I would have somewhere to read in private and a little cozy space, but it just did not work out very well at all, because I bought bean bags for the purpose and they just slid about, and the bean bags are not good. Why did nobody tell me that bean bags are not good? So the bean bags weren't good, so I sent them back, luckily, and got a refund, which was really good, because then it was Christmas and I needed to have the money. But I did keep the blanket that I had bought, and it's purple fuzzy, fluffy blanket, and it gives me a lot of joy. So you could have a favorite blanket, and your goal setting could be that you're going to spend half an hour under your blanket doing something that you enjoy doing just for you every single day, or something like that. Or your goal could be that you're going to have a bottle of Lambrini every Friday. Or it could be that you're going to have your favorite food at least once a week. You know, you get where I'm going with this, right? It can be something just really lovely. Cool. So I have run out of things that I was going to tell you on my list, and as you can probably tell, I'm now just aimlessly rambling, which I am quite good at, and I do feel like maybe I missed a calling in being a radio presenter, because I can fill time. But I will basically probably go in a minute, unless you guys have got anything you want to ask me or tell me or talk about. But what I would like to talk about is what we're going to do moving forwards with the lockdown. I would like to do some extra live streams for you guys, because I think that was a really useful thing last lockdown for many of us. It certainly gave me some structure, and I think it was lots of the same people that came every week, so it gave everybody some structure, I think, which is really great. But I don't think realistically that I can do another live stream every single week, because now things are kind of different in terms of my workload, I guess, with running the Purple People and scripting all my video. Like, my videos now take 3 times as long to make as they used to, because I used to just sit in front of the camera and go, I'm going to talk about this and talk about it, and now I research and I script and I edit much more intensively, and it just takes a lot longer. And I've got all of the kids at home with home educating, and I recognize that that level of working does not work for me. So much as I implore all of you to have good personal boundaries and not overwork, I need to implore myself, even though I love to work and it's really hard to get me to sit still. So what I was thinking was maybe once a fortnight, but I hadn't run this past Mr. Purple yet. What do you think? Once a fortnight? Does that mean fortnight? Yes. So I'm thinking once a fortnight. And I'm thinking that rather than doing it, this is a good time. You guys can tell me, would you rather that I did it at late afternoon, or would you rather that I did it around this time so that you can do your day's work if you work and then come and see it? I'm kind of leaning towards sticking with about 6:30 in the evening, because any later than that, and what you're going to get on a live stream is me on the sofa under a blanket, really tired. So any later is no good. But I think maybe pushing it to this time would suit people. So what do you think? What do you think? Once a fortnight is great. Cool. So so that is the plan. And then what I'll do is some super fun stuff like we did in the last live stream, like the sushi and the Fimo and the baking and stuff, because that was all fun. I know that Roz, who is currently in the chat, is probably going to be up for joining me for some of those. So if you'd like that, then say so now, so that you encourage her. That would be cool. So yeah, I could do with some ideas for the first one. I really enjoyed the Would You Rather live stream, so it might be quite fun to do something like that again. So if anybody knows of any like fun games like Would You Rather that will give us all a giggle, because we laughed a lot in that live stream, then that would be really brilliant, I think. Yeah.
Okay. I got a question for you.
Okay.
So, Doggy Cat, I'm 14 and have an autism assessment next week. I've diagnosed ADHD and I'm really worried about my assessment. Every day I think I'm definitely autistic, and 2 minutes later not.
Is that a question?
Well, yeah,
more of a statement.
A statement, but would like some reassurance, I think.
Okay, what's the person's name?
Doggy Cat.
Oh, Doggy Cat, yes. Doggy Cat's only 14.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't realise that you were 14. Cool. Well, I think it's really natural and normal to be nervous ahead of a big, potentially life-changing, no, because you would always autistic, but life-changing in terms of how you view yourself moving forwards. An assessment like that is something that every one of us was nervous about, even me when I was 36 when I went for my assessment. It's kind of a scary thing, but it is also only an hour or 2 hours or however long the assessment is, and it will be over before you know it. And whatever the outcome of that assessment, you will still be welcome here, and you will still be able to identify however you want to identify. And ultimately, my advice for going to these assessments is to prepare for them so that you feel as prepared as you can going in there. If you've got any questions you'd like to ask the assessor, make sure that you've written them down. If there's any information that you'd definitely like to share with the assessor, make sure that you write that down too, so that you go in prepared. And maybe I should do some kind of a whole video. I get asked this so often that maybe I should do a whole video on preparing for an autism assessment, not in terms of like gemming up so you get the diagnosis, because that's all kinds of wrong, but more of a like, are you nervous? Don't worry, here's like what to do. I don't know, but we're here essentially, whatever the outcome, however it goes, we're here, the community is here, and you will still be okay. It will be okay. It will be okay. That's such great advice, isn't it? Don't worry. Did I tell you I've got a headache? It will be okay.
Last question.
Luke's
asking, what's your favourite books on autism?
My favourite books on autism? I really like Kind of Spark by I want to say Muck something. I'm really bad at names, but I think if you look up A Kind of Spark, you will find it. It's a fiction book written by a neurodivergent writer about a young autistic girl, and I love it. I think it's brilliant. And I really like The Reason That I Jump by another person. I'm not good with names, but you all know The Reason I Jump. And I also finally really liked Laura James's Odd Girl Out, which is kind of a biography when you write about your life? Or is that an autobiography? Yeah. So is a biography when you write about someone else's life? I just don't know. Do you know? It's an autobiography about Laura's life. And she wasn't diagnosed with autism, and I think she was older than I am now. She was in her 40s, maybe in her mid-40s when she was diagnosed. And it's the only book I've ever read about autism where I've just gone, this is me. So yeah, I really related to that, and I really enjoyed that one. And I've actually met Laura since reading the book, and I was a little bit, we was talking at the same conference, and I was a little bit like, oh, it's her, but she's very lovely. So yeah, those are my favourite autism books. Right, so I think, as you can tell, I am running out of steam. Thank you so much for your super chats. I really appreciate them. Welcome to the new purple person. Email me if you are the new purple person. Email me ella@purpleella.com, and I'll send you the details of the Discord board and how to get your sticker and stuff. Next Friday I could do some premieres as well as live streams. I guess that would be a fun thing to do. Maybe I'll premiere this video next Friday so that we've got a chance to chat in the chat. A video about autistic burnout that I'm really excited to bring out, because it's involved a lot of research and crowd searching, and yeah, I'm excited to bring that out, which I'll also be bringing like a shorter, slightly different version out on my Instagram account. So do go and follow me there, Ella and Coco. No, what's it called? @Purple Ella and Coco. Yeah, and then I guess the following week I'll do a live stream as well as because when I do the extra live streams, I'll still bring out a Friday video, I think. That's what I'll try and do if I don't fall apart. So yeah, so I will schedule the next live stream once I've figured out what it's going to be, where it's going to be, and who I am. Yeah. So thank you very much for coming to my live stream. I have very much enjoyed hanging out. Sorry I haven't been as chipper as normal, but I will endeavour to improve my chipperness for future live streams. Don't worry, we've got this. Everything's going to be fine. Keep telling your brain to calm down. Everything's okay.